dropped it in the group, and then boom, just like that, we sold like £17,500 worth in like 20 seconds. COVID started. And I remember it was like 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, and COVID happened, and it was just like 0, 0, 0, 0. And we was like, if we had this decent business here, like this could really like do us in.
I thought it would have gone the other way.
So one random day it was just like 10, 20, 50, 60, 70, 80, hundreds of members joining every single day. I feel like sometimes you're in the right place, right time. That then was like right place, right time. Like the amount of work we did was probably like 5% of what we do now, if not less, I reckon. It was just unbelievable. And I feel like if I knew what I knew now, we could have been making £1 million a month. I actually like genuinely believe so. It was literally insane.
But what's the highest month that you guys have had as a collective?
Highest month ever, I think it's just over 200. It's a bit of a weird analogy, but why would you work bush for your boss to maybe get a 12k pay rise when you can just sign up to some kind of legitimate side hustle, just put in a couple of extra hours and you can make that, and it's in your own control.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Gooms Podcast. Today, we sat down with Milo, who went from reselling sneakers in college to building out 2 paid communities and doing upwards of £200,000 per month. We spoke about how lockdown changed his business forever and what it really took to get to where he is today. If you're looking for a way to add £12,000 to your yearly salary, then this is an episode just for you. Thank you for all the support recently on the podcast. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Enjoy the episode, guys. In building your business, what was the biggest challenge that you faced, and then how did you overcome it?
So I think probably the biggest challenge that I faced was towards the start. I feel like the starting of your business is definitely the hardest bit. And I think the reason for that is because you kind of like lack self-belief. And I think until you've actually like made success yourself and you've kind of like done something that you can kind of like appreciate a little bit, I think like it's hard to believe in yourself. And I think there's a lot of doubt that it's going to fail. For example, when I like first started my businesses, they started off really small and the first few like failed. So like the way I first got into it was so I first started reselling. That was like the first thing that I ever did, was like reselling like sneakers and all that type of stuff.
Was it a business or was it a side hustle?
At that point, side hustle, complete side hustle. I had no like Instagram page or whatever. I was kind of just like buying shoes, and then I had like friends who would bulk buy, sell them for me. Mm-hmm. And then I'd just be like, yeah, I bought these shoes. And he'd be like, yeah, I'm selling them for £550 a pair. I'll take all 10 pairs and I'll just give you the money. And like, luckily that friend didn't even take any like commissions or anything. He was just like, I'll give you the cash cold. So the first thing was a side hustle. And then during that side hustle phase, one of my business partners now, he has always been like business minded. And I literally remember like, I went round to his house for the first like Yeezy release we went for, which was like the first shoe release we went for. And I was like sat on his couch and he wanted help like setting up a bot because he knew I was quite like tech savvy. So he sat there and he's like, gonna own my own business and be a millionaire, me. And I was like, no way, lad. It's like, I'm gonna own my own business and be a millionaire as well. Like fully, like I had the envision of what I wanted to do, but I didn't necessarily know that it was possible. So I think that kind of like self-belief of like knowing it. And I think after that, I always like came back to, I was always like trying to dissect what the reasons that like define people's success are. Like what are the major factors that make someone successful? And one of my favorite ones, and it's so simple, and I think it's really mad because it's right under everyone's nose. It's just like Nike's slogan, like just do it, just start your business. Like there's no point there's no point in listening to podcasts or just like thinking over it or like I'm gonna do this. Just
procrastinating and
just start something small, basic, like MVP, and just crack on from there really. And I think that builds the biggest skills for sure.
I like what you said though. It's something that I think anyways, from my perspective in like the entrepreneur space, it's almost frowned upon to maybe doubt yourself, because I feel like, especially at the start, when you're just digging blind, you're going every single day blind to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Like it's incredibly hard to understand that what you're doing, first of all, is the right thing, and then that's why you doubt yourself.
100%. I think like when you are going for it, especially at the start, like you said, you're digging blind. And I think like if you're gonna have a go at business, should try loads of different things. Just try and like keep just chipping at it in loads of different directions. And as soon as you get like a little bit of a hint of cash and your hint of money, then like double down on that. And then eventually if that dies, then just like pivot and change directions. So like for me, I started with the sneaker reselling, and that works, and it still works to this day, obviously. And from there, I like taught myself how to code, because my other friend was like, we could do this. Like, what happens if like this product that's reselling for like £100 profit, it's out of stock on this website, but what happens if it comes back in stock? And there was already like some similar like things out there that was doing that, but he was like, the websites that we want to monitor, that doesn't exist yet. So then I learned how to code to do that, and like taught myself. So we did that. So we created like these monitors for various different websites, and then we acquired clients. And the clients was basically like other groups that might have had like 50 members paying £50 a month, and they would pay us for our monitors, and then we would send our information about when products come back in stock to their businesses. And eventually, like, I think the peak of that business, we might have been making like 5-6K a month. And then
How old are you at this time?
I was still in college, and I don't think I could drive yet, because I remember I definitely couldn't drive yet, because like I was in college, and I remember like I had like Monzo was like my bank account, and I had like a pot on Monzo, and it was like S3 fund, and I was like thinking in my head, I was like, I'll be the sickest kid in school if I get first car S3, boom, I rock up to like college, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm a G. And I was just like, what? Like, looking back now, such like a petty mindset, but that was what I was wanting. I was wanting to just be like successful. And I don't know what it was. I just kind of wanted the success. I wanted like S3s. I liked cars and that. And that was a big thing.
It sounded like then your idea of success was pulling up to college in the new car. Yeah. All the girls going to be like, what's he got? You put your foot down.
It's so bad.
That was your idea of success. Growing up through business and growing up as a man, has that changed? Or do you still feel like there's a part of that still lives inside you?
I feel like a tiny bit, but nowhere near as much as it used to, because I think like now, I don't think people care that much about it unless you're like super successful. And like the way I look at it now is it's not so much about like the impressing side of things, which was kind of what it was back then, which is, I feel like proper pricky behavior. Like, and I hate to think of like, that's how I used to think, but it's not like that now. In my head, it's like, I just want to go on my own sick holidays. I just want to like be able to travel around the world and like have the freedom to kind of do that and stay in nice places. And like, I like the idea of like nice things. Like when you pull up to a nice hotel and everyone's dead nice and they're greeting you and that, you go in the bathroom, they got like hand towels and shit. Like, I don't know, like I
the like, paper towels, I want the little rolled up ones that they got to wash. Yeah. 100%.
And I like the vibe of that. And I think that's kind of what I see as like success now. And also the fact of like coming into work every day, and I want to employ like hundreds of people, thousands of people. I want to come in and I want people to be doing like sick shit, and they're like, oh, come over here, Milo, like have a look at this, like what we've done, like we've created this new thing, and like look at it, like what you think, blah blah. I want to like live in that kind of world where there's so much stuff going on, and eventually I want to like do stuff that'll like change the world, hopefully. Like that's like an ultimate goal. I want to do like proper sick shit.
That's really dope to hear, bro.
I appreciate it.
What's a change the world moment for you? Before we carry on in your journey, I want to know what would be like a change the world thing that you would do.
I don't know, man. Just I want to like invent something new. I want like something that's like really never been done before. I want to like invent something, and like something that's like
a product.
Yeah, product, service, app, whatever it may be, and like something like that. And I just want it to be like a product that's like sick and like benefits everyone. Mm-hmm. That would be like an ultimate goal, and working towards that. And I feel like I would be like proper content at that, but obviously I imagine that comes with like stress. Yeah. I imagine it's not quite
and
easy.
Heavy fucking pockets as well.
Yeah, fully.
But yeah, so how do we go from the young kid that's aspiring to get an S3, kind of just flipping sneakers here and there? Obviously you mentioned about the coding and the monitors that you were selling on. What was the next steps?
So during this time, when we were selling the monitors to other people, we was also running our own little group that we was just like running our monitors into, and people could pay a small fee for like £30. I think back then it might have been like £15 a month, and it was just a very small, tight-knit community. You couldn't just like go on the website and buy it. It was like closed. Like you had to like wait. We like released it like once a month, and I think it max probably ever had like 40 people in it, something like that. So we was doing that on the side, and we was making these monitors, and eventually we was just like, me and my other business partner, eventually we got like an office. There was like £500 a month. It was like right near our mum's and dad's house. It was a pretty good deal, to be fair. It was like probably like the size of this room. It was just like on a random, like in the middle of like the countryside. Like you walked out the front door and it's just like fields. It was a weird place. So we started in there, and at this point I'd finished college. So I was just in the office every day, just like coding and whatnot. And it came evident pretty quickly that like our business that was making 5K a month selling monitors, that was all just going to completely shit itself. So we was like pivoting. And at this time, my business partner was like, why don't we make like a sneaker bot? Why don't we make like, there's these sneaker bots that like selling like the bot for like £150 and they charge like £15 a month as well. So it was like, let's make this bot. So eventually I was like, right, I'm just going to do it. And at this point we was very early in the market. So I made it, and then we started like testing it. We tested it for a month. And then after a month, like we basically like sold it. Because back then there was other groups that was like similar to my business now that was like had a few hundred members in and whatnot. And you could do this thing called group buys. And basically you would say to this group, I've got this bot, here's a success, it can do X, Y, Z. Do you want to sell it to your members? They posted it in the group, did an interest check. So like hundreds of people reacted to it and was like, yeah, I'm fucking interested in buying it. And I remember like we tested the bot, it was working and people was having success from it. And we dropped it in the group, the first group. And we was only meant to sell like 50 copies, but like we was using this like dead crappy like payment merchant thing. We dropped it in the group, and I remember it was like on the phone like before it, and we was like waiting to see how many people was going to buy. We dropped it in the group, and then boom, just like that, we sold like £17,500 worth in like 20 seconds. And like the payment merchant like oversold. And I remember I was like on the phone, I was like, no way. We was like congratulating each other. We was like, mate, we've just made like 17.5 grand in like 20 seconds. Like, this is sick. Carried on doing that, carried on selling it, carried on making really good money from it. And then at this time, my business that I have today, which has like been my most successful business so far, is called Correct Chief Notify. And this was kind of going in the background, and I was focusing a lot of my attention on the sneaker bot, like keeping it going because it was making us like great money. And this is when Correct Chief Notify started. And at first, it was a closed group. My friends had bought like an Instagram page that they used to market it. We was all shareholders in the business. And then basically, we had like 150 members. And then the next point was, we was like, somehow, I can't remember how it happened, one of us had the idea that why don't we just make this side hustle for everyone? We've taught all our friends how to do it. Why don't we just teach anyone how to make money from this? So there was, at some point, there was like this pivotal like switch in the business model. Instead of it being a closed group that you couldn't buy, it was open to everyone. And at this time, we went to the person we bought the Instagram page off, which was an influencer called TGE. And he's like I don't know if you guys know him. He's like a business entrepreneur guy. He had a YouTube channel. He was massively into cars. He had like 250,000 followers. He was doing quite well on YouTube. We was like, would you be interested in like becoming a shareholder of our business, and you can help us market it and let's like promote it on your Instagram? And he was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? And then the other lads went for a meeting with him, and he was like, yeah, it sounds sick. I'm well up for it. He was like, don't worry, boys. We'll charge like 25 quid a month. In like a couple months' time, we'll have 2,500 members. So then we was all like, 2,500 members. We was like, I remember it to this day. We was in our old office. It was like nighttime. We was smoking shisha, playing Skate Free, like doing the transfer. And I was behind the couch, like on my calculator, like, boys, if we have like 2,000 members and we're charging this much, we're making like 60K a month. And all our heads were like blowing off. So we did that.
Did you get to 2,500 members?
Not at the start. At the start, it was like a couple hundred members. We actually had, like, in the back of our office, there was like a piece of like flooring. We like nailed the piece of the floor into the wall, drew lines on it for each day of the month, and started writing on like how many members we got. And it started off like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like, and it was like 0 days and stuff like that. And then we was like slowly growing. It wasn't major. And then at this point, COVID started, which was like a big boy catalyst for it. And I remember it was like 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, and COVID happened, and it was just like 0, 0, 0, 0. And we was like, fuck, like we had this decent business here, like this could really like do us in.
I thought it would have gone the other way.
So it gets to that. So then we was like, Jesus, man. We even had like a banner on our website, like, don't worry, retailers are still shipping profitable items to your house. And then one random day, it was just like 10, 20, 50, 60, 70, 80, hundreds of members joining every single day. We was like, fucking hell, bro, we're on a bull run here. Like, this is sick. Like, and we wasn't doing anything. The only way we was marketing it, realistically, was making a couple of Instagram posts, and TG was just like smashing it on his stories. And at the same time, loads of things started reselling, like weights, fucking hair clippers, mate.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switches, everything. And the side hustle then became ultra profitable. And then that kind of, I'm assuming what actually happened was, because we was getting loads of promotion from TGA, loads of people were seeing all the success from our members, which was like ridiculous. People making like thousands of pounds every single month from like doing like basically fuck all. And then I think probably what happened was people started referring their friends. And then it started like proper snapping up, and then we just like shot up to like 2,500 members. And we was like chilled out, and then we just kind of just like chilling at 2,500 members for a little bit. And then, yeah, that was kind of how it went for the start anyway.
So what were you doing during COVID, making 60K a month when you can't really do, like what were you doing?
Mate, just smoking shisha, playing Skate 3, and just like reselling. And
just
we weren't
watching
even,
the money roll in.
Yeah, literally. But I promise you, like, and do you know when people say, like, do you know when it like looks created and like you can like feel like sometimes you're in the right place, right time? That then was like right place, right time. Like it was nuts. Like the amount of work we did was probably like 5% of what we do now, if not less, I reckon. It was just unbelievable. And I feel like if I knew what I knew now, and I had like the work ethic that I knew now and the team I had now, we could have been making £1 million a month. I actually like genuinely believe so. It was literally insane. To bear in mind, we was running ads at this time, cost us £3 for a new member. And the lifetime value back then might have been even higher than like, for example, it's £150 now. It might have been even higher back then because everyone was doing nothing. So it was just like insane, to be fair. Like, and I feel like when the moments come round, you need that business experience to like capitalize on it. And I reckon you could make fucking wedges.
A £3 cost per client is crazy, by the way.
What were some of the things that you wish that you knew back then to be doing £1 million a month?
So
that you know now.
Back then, like, I think I wish I knew organic content, because I think if we knew organic content back then, back with the times, we would have like blown the market right up.
To be fair though, that is like when TikTok first came around, was lockdown. You can't really blame yourself for that.
Yeah, literally, that's what I mean. So like that, and I also think that like what we actually did in the business was like, we didn't have anything else to sell to anyone. And at the peak of it, we had 5,500 members paying like 30 quid a month, all loving the service, and we had nothing else to sell them, and we didn't sell them a single thing else. We could have thought of so many other things to sell them. Like, and everyone would have been buzzing. It's so, like, because everyone's making, people are making like thousands of pounds every single month.
Spend more? Yeah.
And they're loving it. They believed in us. They trusted what we was doing. I reckon we could have been selling like other products on the side of that, and we could have had like lifetime value like well high. I reckon it could have been insane. I reckon.
Why do you think at that time? Obviously, I know you mentioned I wish I knew what I know now, but when you sat around smoking shisha, playing Skate 3 all day, every day, watching the money roll in, obviously part of you's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, don't really need to do much. Yeah. But were you not like on a call thinking, boys, this is fucking going crazy? Like, can't we do X, Y, and Z? Or was your head just not in that space?
I don't know. You know, I can't like. We was like thinking like, how could we like, how could we get more members? That was our mindset. We didn't even, back then, no one had said the word lifetime value for probably since 2 years after that. Yeah. So no one even knew. We didn't calculate it. We didn't have a fucking clue what was going on. So in our mind, we was like, I promise you, that word was never said for probably until 2 years later. Yeah. So we didn't know. We was just kind of like, yeah, we just need more members. And then the way of getting us members back then was like influencers. We just need more influencers. So we was like tossing cash around with like influencers. And bear in mind, back then, do you know who Matt Armstrong is? The car YouTuber who repairs
I know.
So he pulls now probably 5-10 million views like a video.
His videos are sick as well.
Isn't he the one that redid Rashford's Rolls Royce or something?
Yeah, that's him.
So back then, we was like paying for this tool because I was thinking like, right, how can we find influencers that are going to work? Like how can we even find all the influencers out there to pay to like market our businesses? So we was like, we bought like this tool that was like $1,000 a month that was like a really OG tool that it was kind of like an influencer search engine, something like that. So we bought that, and then Matt Armstrong was like the first person at the top of it. And back then he must have had like 80,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers. So then we like contacted Matt Armstrong, and he's like, yeah, I'm up for like promoting it. Like it'll be like £2,500 for like XYZ YouTube videos. like promoting your product and like, but I wish we'd have done it because like, think about all these old videos back then, probably still getting organic views now, would have been insane. And like now he pulls like millions of views. So we was kind of just thinking like influencers, more customers. But the problem with more customers as well was it affected the product. But we just didn't understand like how else you grow a business really.
Yeah, as opposed to adding more value to the guys that are already paying you. Yeah. You're just looking for more guys to pay you.
Yeah. So closed, like, so like simple-minded. So we was just kind of like, just like chilling really. And at the time, I don't think we understood what was happening. Well, we definitely didn't understand it. Like,
what do you mean?
Like, we definitely didn't understand like the catalyst that was COVID.
Right.
So we just thought, fucking business. This is well easy. Yeah. Been doing this for 1 year. We're making like 150 grand a month. No fucking problem. Like doing basically like barely anything. Yeah. So we just kind of didn't really know what was going on. So we just kind of rode that out for a while.
Nobody really did though. It was a very weird, confusing time. Like, when's it going to stop? Is it going to be like how long? Are we all going to die? Like, is this the end of humanity? Like, we were all of these thoughts went through your head at some point. Obviously, the longer it went on, the more kind of woke we kind of got. And we were like, okay, well, I'm not sure if this is what we thought it was. But nobody knew what was going on. Yeah,
literally. And that's what I said at the start. During that first period, it was like 0, 0, 0 every day. And like we had that banner on our website, like saying like, don't worry, like businesses are still shipping. But like little did we know that was just gonna like change the game for us. So we kind of just played that for a long time. We was kind of like chilling at like a few thousand members and we was just dossing around really. Like we just had it easy. And then PS5s came out then. And like, oh mate, again, it was just another perfect fucking catalyst. And at this point, went to another influencer, DMO DJ. Don't know if you know who he is. Yeah, another car YouTuber who like now promotes like loads of Forex and stuff. So we went to him and we like struck together a deal with him for like, I think it was like £6,000 a month. And you got like 4 YouTube videos, like six like 4 Insta stories, like a post, a couple Snapchat stories and whatnot. We went to him. And then the first promotion we did was on the PS5 release day. We took like 20 PS5s to him and he did this mad video. To be fair, mate, he is a sick marketer. Like he knew even back then he knew what he was doing. He was like, we basically give him all these PlayStation 5s and he like give them all away. And he was like, if you boys can't get a PlayStation 5, Crips Youth Notify, sign up to their group. They'll let you know as soon as the PlayStation 5s come back in stock. So then that happened. He posted that on his Instagram story. We would literally just left DMO DJ. We was in the car. As soon as he posted it, website sessions like shot through the floor. Our like Shopify like payment gateway broke, and I think like that day we did like 280 new subs in one day. Like, and but the problem was we would have done well more. But basically, like the plugin we had like a rate limit, so you could only have like 30, 40 new subs like an hour or something like that. I can't remember what the exact number was, but like basically at like 5 minutes past the hour, it would reset like 20, 30, 40 people would just sign up like there and then for the next 50 minutes, no one could sign up. And it was just like, wow. But then, so that went on and then that just like caused like a massive storm again of more people. And then all these news articles came out, because we was like posting on our social media, like we've hacked like the very website, like we've just, all our members have scored like 3,000 PS5s. We did like one of our old manager did like a Business Insider interview that got picked up. And it just started, just blew up again. And then that's when we got to like over 5,500 members, just like off the back of that over like the next few days. And
I was literally going to say, like, how were you getting them? Was it the bots? Like,
no bots. We never use bots. Like our group is for like people who don't want to use bots. So like what would happen is they would like, for example, like Very sell PlayStation 5s, but obviously they just went out of stock as soon as they came back in stock because everyone was buying them. But the reason that everyone knew they was back in stock is because our group had like software just refreshing the page 24/7 to wait for it to come back in stock. As soon as it detected that the product was back in stock, it sends a notification to all of our members. Then everyone just jumps on the website, clears them all out, resells them on eBay. And that for every single website, we just had monitor set up. So as soon as it came back in stock,
that's why we couldn't get one for forever then. It was this prick.
I was all right. I had a couple connections back in August. Something that I wanted to ask you, bro. We spoke about a lot of ups in your journey. What's maybe one of the worst days that you encountered?
Like none. It's just pulling them out of nowhere.
Probably when I was just sat playing Skate 3.
I don't know, you know, like, as in like detrimental business like effects.
Could be detrimental to the
when
business.
the news articles dropped, that was pretty bad because I wasn't a director on the business, so no one like checked out my address. But what happened is all these people really like hated what we was doing.
Before you get into that, what was said in the news articles?
Scalpers buying up all PlayStation 5s, selling them for profit. These basically kids are just like using bots. Because the Business Insider article came out, what happened in the Business Insider article is they spun what we said. We said that we was using bots to monitor the restocks on the website, but we wasn't using bots to purchase it. Business Insider like spun it and said that it was using bots to purchase it. So then when the Business Insider article came out, all the other news articles read the Business Insider article and just copied what they said. So then everyone was like, you're all using bots, like it's unfair, blah, 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 blah. When we kind of was with the restock monitors. So people were saying that, like, you've ruined my kid's Christmas, like, you fucking get a life, get a job, like, you vermin, all this mad stuff. So then on Reddit, they basically started posting our addresses everywhere. Of like, but it was our mums and dad's addresses. Fortunately, it wasn't mine because they couldn't see mine because they was just looking at the directors' addresses, which is my two business partners. So they were just peppering that on Reddit and the people was commenting saying, I'm going to go around with my boys and like fucking twat them and shit. So we was like,
all over some PS5s.
Yeah. So we was like, oh, this ain't good, mate. Like, this is really bad. And it was like our mums and dad's addresses and stuff. We was like, this is just proper stale. So that was pretty like stale time, which was a bit like, as a kid, I was kind of like, this just, it's not fun, this. Like, do you know what I mean? A lot of stress. Like, what if someone does come round or does like brick up the windows?
Did anything like that ever happen?
Nah, obviously not. It's fucking PS5, mate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to go brick someone's windows over that, are you really? Like, so nothing ever came of that. Other than that, so as time went on and all this COVID stuff had like passed, basically, we kind of like neglected things a lot. And this is where the organic content came around. So basically, we were kind of just like, we just let the business kind of like die a bit. So we let the business die, and then it got to a point where we might have been earning like, I don't know, like we was maybe earning like 50, 60K a month from the 150, 60s that we was earning before. And we was like, fucking hell. Like, we got a lot of payroll there as well. It was like, this isn't going to end well. Like, things are looking down. Like, we were just on a steady down. So at that point, we was just like, right, we need to just sort our heads out here, and we just need to proper just like knuckle down and just grind it out. So then there was quite like a dark time of like almost like
the winter arc.
Yeah, just literally, mate, like winter arc, just grinding it out and trying to like sort everything out and trying to get like the business like back churning again. And yeah, we had to fire people and like, because we was like scaled up for a platform that was well big, but now the platform had like dropped like a few thousand members instead of like 5,500. So we had to like fire some people, and we just had to like rechange everything around and learn a whole new way of marketing, which was obviously organic content.
What did the reshuffle look like for you guys? So when I say you guys, I mean you and your business partners. What was the switch in, let's say, your day-to-day? I'm guessing it was less shisha and less skate 3 and more let's fucking actually do some work kind of thing.
Yeah, it was stuff like that. It was like, just, we actually kind of like had to like grind it out there. And granted, we was like work, like it was when we moved out of our office and all moved in together. That's when the first couple months when we was in together, we still weren't really like massively smashing it, like doing the work. We was kind of just like chilling out type of thing. And then towards the end of that, we was working every day. And then it got to the point where it's like, well, we actually really need to fucking work hard now to kind of sort this whole thing out. Otherwise, we're all going back to our mum's houses and that'll be pretty stale. So the reshuffle kind of just looked like I was the first one to like make videos. So about a month before this, we just hired, like granted, we were scaling everything back. Somehow we hired our first editor. His name he's called Will Smith by chance. So we hired our editor. And then at the start, I was telling you before, like we didn't even have we didn't even have a clue what we was doing. So we were still just dicking around. Like I said, like we went and bought like a Reliant Robin from auction and like made a whole YouTube video of it and like but never like posted it. But we was kind of just like playing around at the start, making like weird videos. Like for example, we had like gardeners at our old house. And we got him like wearing like a pair of like mad like reselling Jordans, like strimming the garden in like these like £500 like profit pair of Jordans and stuff. And we was like making like edits of him and that. It was weird. So we were just doing all mad stuff like that. And then at this time, it was when NFTs were popping as well. So NFTs were kind of like kicking off, and we kind of missed like the Bored Ape thing because we got into NFTs about like a year before. And I don't know if you boys were like in NFTs at the start, but it kind of first started out on this website called Nifty Gateway. And it was just like art, really. It weren't like Bored Apes or like community stuff. It was just literally like artists selling art. So we basically started buying the NFTs on there, which were profitable. And then what happened was, like a couple of weeks into that, I made a bot to basically buy, because it was like a raffle system. So I made a bot to bot the raffles, like as like a bit of a side quest, because we were just like dabbling in random shit. So I made a bot to do that. And then these NFTs came around that was like $7,000 each. And there was like limited to 15. And we basically bought 4 of them. So we spent like 28 bags on them. To this day, not one has ever sold. The top offer on like OpenSea is like $25. So we put in this 28 grand and then like at the time it was like, this is sick. We've just made 100 grand bot. It's like, and then realistically we lost 28 grand. So then we was kind of really put off by NFTs. So then NFTs started again. So we made an extension of Crep Chief Notified called Crep Chief NFT, where we was providing like NFT tips and whatnot. And we originally started making TikTok content for that. So I was making videos, just like shit trend videos on TikTok, just like me like doing mad shit to basically market NFTs, to basically market us, like market our group for NFTs. And then that then transitioned into like making YouTube videos and stuff. And I think like one of the biggest things was I was really scared about making like content for the first time. I remember like the first YouTube video I ever made, like we uploaded it onto YouTube and we was watching it back like in the living room. It was all like chilling there, like watching it. And I was like, and it had just gone live and I was like, in my head I was like, nah, I need to take this down. Like, I don't want, like, I look like an idiot here. Like, this is so fucking, like, what am I doing? Like, everyone's going to think I'm a tool. So I was proper, like, paranoid about, like, what the videos I was making and stuff. But ultimately, like, persevering through that, like, anxiety almost of, like, I look like an idiot. What are people going to think of me? Blah, blah, blah. Was, like, the biggest, like, it was, like, the savior for the business was, like, making organic content.
What was was there a direct correlation between the amount of content you were putting out, the amount of views you were getting, and the business getting back to where it was?
Yeah. Well, because at the time we just weren't getting the number of signups every month was going down. So as soon as we started making like YouTube videos and TikToks and stuff, it started picking back up. And I was posting like Instagram TikToks, like I was posting like Instagram Reels and TikToks about reselling on my own page. And I remember like I was getting like 20, 30 DMs a day of people like asking to start reselling. So everything started to pick up again. So we started like growing again from there. And we kind of like got ourselves out of the fucking mega nosedive. So there was definitely like, I wouldn't say there's a correlation between the amount of content we was posting, but there was a correlation between the amount of views we was getting. And fundamentally, which I still think is really interesting, is YouTube was the best source of traffic. Like YouTube videos of us doing it, rather than TikToks, like, as you can imagine. Like, the clicks that you get from TikTok are nowhere near as good as YouTube videos. Mm-hmm. Like, the YouTube videos are really powerful stuff.
Yeah. Well, if you get a good amount of people coming across to watch something where you're actually providing value, you've got a strong CTA, which you obviously had in place. Well, all of the main influencers, that's really one of the big places where they push their traffic to actually buy shit, isn't it?
100%. And I think YouTube, like, it's one of the best tools that you've got out there to make like organic content. I feel like we, for example, on Crep Chief Notify, we don't post regular YouTube videos. We did at the start, like we did when we was like fucked, because we was like just trying everything. So we were, like, now we still don't post regular YouTube videos, but I know, I can hand on heart say that like posting YouTube videos can sometimes be better than posting like short form content, because you can actually show it in proper detail. People get to know you, people trust you, they watch it in greater depth, and they're just all round so much warmer than just like a TikTok lead, for example.
How did Seller Circle come around and getting into Amazon FBA and stuff like that? Where was that along this journey?
Seller Circle came around after we'd moved out of our old house. We basically saved CCN at this point. We got it to like a good place. It was making good money. It was like profitable again. We basically saved CCN at this point. Things were going well. We'd expanded our team. We'd launched the app. Like we'd made really good progress with CCN after it kind of been in like a really bad spot. So we moved to Manchester. We moved our office to Manchester. And then around that time, we knew that Amazon FBA was popping, and we dabbled in it internally in CCN in the past, but we hadn't really gone full force because no one had the expertise that basically was needed to launch like an Amazon group. So we knew that we wanted to do it. So we was just scoping around for potential people to, like, business partners to partner up with who could be our Amazon like expert. There was a couple of people who we had like meetings with, and we was really keen to go ahead with. And then we got introduced by a mutual friend to Jake. And then when we met Jake, everything kind of aligned much better for us. And we just kind of felt that Jake was more of our we could see Jake being our business partner more than the other people we'd met with. So ultimately we decided to start with Jake. We obviously proposed a deal with Jake to start Seller Circle and how it'd all work and stuff. And then, we just got right to it, really. We just started the group. We invited CCN members to test it for free. Did a test for like a month or two, built the platform and sorted everything out. And then, we had like, I think we might have had like 150 testers. And then the day we turned it paid, we like 90 of them signed up to a £50 a month membership. So we just grew it from there, really. We just started making videos about it. We used our like CCN content team because we had 2 editors at that point. We basically just like split the cost with them and made TikToks with them. And then we also hired a new editor for CCN, for Seller Circle, sorry. We hired a new editor for Seller Circle. But then we made like a bit of a mistake with this guy because we was looking around for people to hire. And this was probably like a good lesson in terms of like hiring people, which I think is really important when you hire people. They have to fit in to what you're doing. And we basically...
What do you mean to what you're doing, as in like...
They have to fit into... Sorry. They have...
With the other guys in the business.
They have to fit into the business and who you are and like the ethos of the business, really. So we basically... Which for us is basically just young lads. Who would, do you know what I mean? Like just young lads, really. That's the only way I could put it.
Making money, having fun, doing your thing.
Having fun. Like our office is very fun. Like, do you know what I mean? So we hired this other guy. I won't say his name, but he was much older. I think he must have been like 28, 29. We hired him, and a big mistake was we knew about it. He had a kid. And the big responsibilities that come with having a kid affected the way he worked. For example, he just like the amount of time he was off was loads. He'd just like text in the morning saying like, my girlfriend's at work today, can't come in today, I need to look after the kid. Just like all the time though, and loads of things like that. And he was just like slacking and a lot of that thing was lots of days off. And it wasn't really like an option, like, can I have today off? It was like, need to look after my kid today, can't come in. It's like, cheers mate, for like paying your wages here and you're just not showing up. So we had him for a bit, and then we eventually like got rid of him. We was like, you know what I mean, mate? We kept warning him, saying like, you can't just keep saying I'm not coming in today. Like, it's not how business works, not how like we want to operate. So eventually we just got rid of him. And then we just kept growing Seller Circle from there. We hired another editor for all of our businesses, and we just kept growing it. Just kept growing members. Brought in the wholesale side of things and just started cash churning it. And the good thing about Seller Circle is, and it comes back down to what I said before about the word lifetime value, how important it is. Seller Circle gets nowhere near as many new customers as CCN, but makes more money because the lifetime value is significantly higher. Yeah,
because again, I don't want you to take any disrespect to this, but the way that I would look at Amazon FBA and the way that I would look at like flipping trainers, let's say, one's a legit business and one screams outside hustle.
Yeah.
So naturally, if someone's going to pay to join CCN, it's going to be, need a bit of quick cash, jump in, flip a couple of stuff. Okay, I made my money, got a return on what I've paid into the community. Like, I can do this on my own now. Fuck it if I do it.
Yeah.
But Amazon FBA is like, it's a constant graft, isn't it? Yeah. It's a legit business that you're building up reviews 100%. And rapport and... Yeah.
And you have like more, so it has more products. For example, wholesale mentorship at Seller Circle. It was originally £1,000. Now it's £2,000. And we get loads of people going from the £50 a month membership into wholesale. We also have like a Seller Circle Pro membership, which is like an enhanced version of the membership. That's £550. And we sell more of the high ticket stuff than we do of the low ticket stuff. because and I think this is a big problem in like the paid community space right now, is people just think like, oh, this guy teaches this skill, his group's £50 a month, I'm going to do something similar and I'm going to sell mine £50 a month. But you shouldn't sell a membership, in my opinion, if the skill can be learned and you're not needed after that. Why would you sell that as a membership? It's pointless, because people join for 1 month, learn everything they need to know, like, yep, don't need you anymore. But with CCN, you need the information about what's coming out and the restocks and all the other stuff that's coming out. Like, you have to stay a member of that. Yeah. So, and I think that's a big problem with like lots of people starting like these paid communities and stuff. It's like, don't follow what everyone else is doing. Actually think about what your service is and think about like maximizing your lifetime value, whereas just like following the market.
So what is it that you did to maximize the lifetime value of Seller Circle?
So with Seller Circle, it's just got lots more products. And for example, our funnel now is, you go on Seller Circle's social media, you will never see us mention the membership. All we mention is like, everything mentions to go to our lead magnet, to which you then book a call. So then you get on the phone and you basically sign up to Seller Circle Pro, or you sign up to wholesale. And if people don't do that, then we basically nurture them into like buying the membership later. We just don't mention it until like after that do you know what I mean? After we've gone for like the bigger products and the better products. And it's like a back end offer almost. It's like hidden, unless you like Googled up Seller Circle's website and went on and you could see the membership. But for most people, they're not really doing that.
It's pretty dope. It's pretty much what we do.
There you go. That's what I mean. It's like, it works well. And I think like memberships are good for the really low ticket stuff, but like, just lifetime value. I reckon every person out there who's got a paid community, go figure out your lifetime value and then think of 10 ways that you can sell more products to 10 people to get it up. And I guarantee it'll change your business overnight, because most people aren't doing it. They're just like memberships. And it's just like, what are you doing? What's going on?
Yeah.
That's like my ultimate advice to people running paid communities. Just check out your lifetime value and just number one goal to get it up. Like, I think you should focus on that more than, if you've got a steady stream of new customers that's like kind of automated, work on the lifetime value stuff, because you've already got loads of contacts and loads of customers that when you add new products in, you can sell to them as well.
What truly goes into building a business, bro?
The most important thing is your product, making sure that you have like a great product that ultimately like benefits people and allows them to get where they want to be. I think that's the biggest thing. You first need a solid product that benefits someone in obviously some way. And it can't just be like, it needs to be like a solid thing that people can see how it's going to take them there to what they want to get. It's like what Alex Hormozy always says, like the dream outcome, and your product is like the vehicle to get them there. That's what you need to be like, have. And then I think after that, I guess it's running your product, maintaining it, fulfilling it, and then marketing. But I think great product, great marketing, and then the fulfillment side of it. I don't think that's like, it's a big thing, but like, in my opinion, the two hardest parts is like the actual product idea and what you're selling, and the marketing. Don't think that fulfillment's like, the fulfillment as in like the internal service of like, do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be amazing. I think like when you're starting a business, like it can be a bit like rigged up. Like for example, people could pay and then you could like, you don't have to have everything automated. You don't have to have everything like perfect at the start. Like starting a business is just kind of like starting with an MVP, like a little shack, and you kind of just upgrade it along the way and make it better.
What separates Seller Circle from the other guys that are selling these Amazon courses? Because I know they're everywhere. There's people all over the world, especially in the UK and in the US, that are like, start Amazon FBA, dude. This is the way the laptops open at Aura Skypool in Dubai, printing cash and all of this bullshit. What separates you guys and what you offer to the people that have that dream outcome? What separates you, and why would they come to, or why should they, or why do they?
So I think in the UK, there's two markets. There's a side that Jake who's my business partner at Seller Circle, is actually into, which is wholesale, that he actually does to this day, and he's actually amazing at. Like, and then there's the side that's like reselling, which you will see groups charging a monthly membership for, that are kind of like leads and stuff. But what we sell at Seller Circle is predominantly get into wholesale. We use online and retail arbitrage as a vehicle to make some money, build self-belief to ultimately get you into wholesale, which is where the good Amazon business is. but there's lots of groups out there, and the majority of what I would say in like circulation that people will be seeing is people going to Tesco and they're basically buying products in Tesco and flipping them, similar to CCN in a sense. And Seller Circle isn't really that. Seller Circle is about building a wholesale business, about building a proper Amazon business that's like sustainable and scalable. It's not just going to Tesco and making some flips. That's the big part of Seller Circle. And if anyone who's part of our community can probably see that it doesn't work like that.
Yeah. You're selling the long game.
Yeah. We sell the more serious side of things. And I think you see that with the people that are attracted to Seller Circle. Like CCN's audience is very different. And then we portray ourselves very differently on there to how like Seller Circle portrays itself. Seller Circle portrays itself as like just more of an actual business. Whereas like you're right, CCN is a side hustle. It's nothing else. Never think that like reselling stuff is going to make you like a business. It's just, unfortunately, it's just not. It's a side hustle. And I think there's just markets for both. And the people who join Seller Circle are generally older. And if people try to join CCN who we can tell aren't really the people who usually join CCN, we will try and direct them to Seller Circle as well.
If you don't feel comfortable answering this question, I completely understand and respect it. But what's the highest month that you guys have had as a collective with CCN and Seller Circle and any other flips? I don't know if you bought a Tesla Cybertruck at cost and sold it for an extra $20,000. It wouldn't surprise me with you. But
highest month ever, I think it's just over 200. That's like struggling to get past that. Like I'll be really honest. Like the point that we're at now, I feel like I've just been here for ages, just trying to like figure out what the next thing is that's gonna like take us there. And yeah, it's just like how would you get to like 300k consistently every single month? How would you get to like 400, 500k? That's like my ultimate goals right now, is figuring out like what are the things that are needed to do to get you there.
Is there no further value that you can add to your members? Like, is it that packed with value? Is there nothing you could just be like, if each of them pay an extra 25 or 30 or 40 quid a month or 100 quid a month?
So yeah, so I was thinking like CCN, the price definitely has to go up. I was saying this before, that like the price has got to go up. It's well too cheap. 35 quid to make an extra like £12,000 a year from a side hustle that literally takes a few hours from you, takes a few hours a week from your phone, all from your phone. Like I think that's a priceless asset. It's the time thing. It's like the amount of time that like it takes is like next to none. Like literally I promise like 2 to 3 hours a week is all you need. It might be like a drop's happening, literally 5 minutes on the drop, then you just forget about it and you just wait for the next notification about when something's happening.
Where are they selling it?
eBay, Vinted. If it's event tickets, it can be on like Viagogo and StubHub. So yeah, just like think price of CCN up for sure. It's just going to happen, unfortunately. If you've been thinking about joining CCN and you're watching this, get in now before I put the price up. And then thinking about other things we can sell to people for CCN. But I'm thinking potentially making like Seller Circle part of the funnel to like, so because they're obviously separate business entities. Seller Circle pays CCN an affiliate for referring its customers. Like Seller Circle pays CCN an affiliate for referring customers, basically. And then ultimately, like if you calculating all that, obviously going to be quite hard. But like figuring out something there and then pushing it that way might be the best way to go. Obviously, trying to think of new ways to add value to CCN, but it's quite tough because it's just a simple hustle. That like limits it because it is a simple hustle. There's not massively to. For example, with Amazon FBA, you've got the flipping side, retail online arbitrage. Then you've got wholesale. Then you've got after wholesale, which can take you really far. You then got private label, which is where you go and make your own products. And we are planning on adding private label to Seller Circle very soon, where you basically go out, create your own brand, buy products from China, and then you sell them on Amazon. I know, and there's definitely scope for like TikTok shop and stuff there as well. So like I think like that in a sense it'd be a crazy funnel because it's like CCN very low end, but the people who do want more, which is definitely like a thing in CCN, people want to become like escape the matrix, rich type thing, and it's just providing like the stepping stones to get there. And I think personally that's my favorite way to do business. It's like stepping stones, small business, medium business, large business, and so forth, and you learn along the way because you need cash flow and you need wins. I think it's the biggest things people's success is early wins. And that's what I don't like about dropshipping, because I think for someone who's never done business before, right, you've got to like go out, product research, start making creative, start doing, do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot involved with it to make it work. Like, and I feel like the faster you get the win, the more likely you are to like stick at it. And I seen some like mad statistic the other day, and I'm assuming this was the earlier days of Facebook, is if people got 7 friends in the first day on Facebook, there was a 99% chance that they would stay forever. But if they didn't, then the like people would just like never use it again. But if they got the 7 friends in the first day, it's like a quick win. It's just like the instant dopamine. Oh, I'm on the right path. I've actually got friends. No way. You know what I mean? Like, this is sick.
Yeah.
That's a pretty crazy statistic, to be fair. I actually didn't know that.
It also makes sense with business, though. I started this business. Oh, I made a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Even if it slows down, it's like, but I made it, and I made it really quickly. So I need to just a few things, and I can make it really quickly again. Same thing.
100%. And I think like and that's why I think that the CCN Seller Circle funnel could be like insane, is because people join CCN, get a quick win, like, oh, sick, trust these guys, they're actually not scamming people. Do you know what I mean? And then they keep stepping, and as they step up, the money gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But along the way, they keep getting like little golden nuggets that keep them like spurred on, which I think is a massive factor. I think if you like jump in the deep end and try and start a business, and it's like 3 months before you make a dime, bro, the low chance you staying for 3 months, I reckon. Like the average person, unless you're super motivated, you've never done business before, if you have to stick at a business for 3 months, invest, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours, I reckon there's a high chance you give up, for sure. And it's kind of like you said before, it's kind of like a frowned upon mindset, but I think it's so real.
What do you do outside of business, bro? We spoke a lot about business this whole episode. Yeah. What do you do to take care of yourself, make sure that you're, sharp, getting in the office, etc.?
So, to be fair, man, fucking bro, my life's kind of like deteriorated over business for sure. Like,
wait, what do you mean?
Like, just like, basically my routine is literally wake up, go to work. Like, my business partners are like my closest friends. So wake up, go to work, after work, go to the gym, might go to the sauna and stuff like that, like in the week. That is literally it. And then other than that, literally eat, sleep, like wake up, rinse and repeat. And then on the weekends, I do like, it's probably like a 25 to 50% chance that I'll be like working properly on the weekends. Some days I might do like an hour or two. Some days I might not do anything. But then on the weekends, I'll like, for example, me and my boys, we just took up golfing, trying to get like sick at golfing. We're watching Burnell golfing now, so we're all trying to smash it out the park. So I've been doing a lot of golfing, been like going golfing like every weekend really, which is sick. Apart from the weather's just got proper shite, but that's like a big thing. I'm trying to like take up more hobbies and try and like step aside from that. Because one thing I think as well is when I'm in the office, sometimes I hit mental blocks. I go to the gym, I got like an audio book on or something. I'm like, I'm there on my Notion and my notes, like peppering stuff down. Like my mind is so clear, and I think like taking yourself outside of them spaces like encourages creativity and encourages you to like problem solve.
I feel like for that, when I get a block, is like literally I just go outside for a walk, like literally 10 minutes, and I'll come back in and I'll be like, okay, shit, like this is how I'm going to do this, or this is how I'm going to figure that out. But you mentioned something which I want to come back to as well. I know said let's talk outside of work. You said weekends, maybe you do a couple hours and stuff like that. What about when you were coming up? Was that still the case? Or was it every single day?
During the times when everything was proper shit, like, then I was working on the weekends because I wasn't really doing anything. Like, then my, like, social life was... It's weird for me because I've been living... Since the business started popping off, I've been living with my business partners. So we've all been together, which I think it's a weird thing as well, right? It's because, like, for example, if I go see my friends from back home, from like when I was growing up, then there's so many things to talk about. But like with my business partners now, I know every single second of their lives, like basically as it unfolds. So then it's like after work, there's like not really much to talk about because I've been with them. I literally spend like so much time with them. It's insane. So I think like that's a really...
Me and you.
Yeah, I was going to say to you, boys, don't feel like that.
At the end of the night, if we're playing a bit of FIFA or whatever, yeah, on the mic, all we're doing is shit talking each other. That's it. But there's because everything there's been to talk about has come and it's gone. And it's like, everything that happens throughout the day that I need to update you about because you're there. So where do we go from here?
100%. I think it's a very weird dynamic that I've definitely noticed, and it's like like I said, if I go and see like the people I grew up with, it's an endless chat. Like there's so much like happening that I don't know about. But like with my business partners, which are my closest friends, then I know everything. Like, because I'm with them all the time. As something happens in their life, I just know about it straight away. And same for like vice versa. So it's interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot what the original question was, but
I know what H said was, do you work on the weekends? Now, obviously, you take a little bit of time, and then on the come up where you were in that bit of a rut, you were like, yeah, we were working weekends.
Yeah.
And then you went on to saying that we live together.
Yeah.
So I was kind of thinking in my head, the fact that you live together, does it always feel like you're kind of working anyway?
Yeah, ish, kind of, because if, for example, if I'm in the gym with her, it's basically what we talk about is work. Like really, we talk about like ideas and like things to change and stuff. But then, for example, if we're out golfing, we don't talk about like that's like shit talking. Do you know what I mean? Like that's like, mate, that fucking shot was wank or like whatever. Like
you having a couple of drinks around the course or not?
Yeah, defo, mate. A few beers right on that.
Yeah.
But then someone's got to drive, so it kind of like stales the other person out. But
it's in the Full Send Golf channel.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
So I love it. Honestly, I think it's a sick sport. I really like popped off, and I think that's the power of social media and YouTube. Though is like a sport that realistically probably wasn't that popping a few years ago. Now that everyone's jumped on YouTube and it's like all over TikTok and stuff, just starts banging again. And it's sick. It is sick. Like going around the course with your mates, having a few beers, having a laugh, like swinging some golf balls. It is sick. It's proper good because you get outside and like you're not like essentially like, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people who like go out. You go out a night out, you get hammered. You like the next day you're feeling like death. You're like, fucking hell, why'd I go out last night? Never drinking again. Like blah blah blah. So I think it's just an interesting change. It's like a proper like hobby sport that is good.
What about traveling, bro? Because from what I kind of take, a lot of your business is online, right? It doesn't really take any physical needs. The only thing that I can imagine is your physical need is like content, right? And you can do that pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Are you traveling the world? Are you a homebody? Have you done 3 months here, 3 months there? Obviously, I know you said you mentioned you moved to Manchester. Have you stayed in Manchester ever since?
Yeah. So I grew up in Manchester. I grew up like 30 minutes outside of Manchester. Lived in Cheshire before I moved to the city centre, and I've moved in the city centre. Lived there for like 2.5 years, maybe more. So I've been like away from my parents since I was like 18. Like I moved out when I was 18 in with my boys. So yeah, just lived in Manchester. I've been on like holiday. You know what I mean? I've been on holidays and stuff, but like longest I've stayed out the country is 2 weeks when I went to Dubai with like the lads who I was working with. And other than that, nah, traveling. And I definitely think like something that I want to do for sure. But I don't know if I don't fancy like, I'm undecided, you know. I've always said if I ever sell all my businesses and I really churn it, then I would literally with the boys and whoever get in a plane and just travel to every single country and just like go everywhere and just chill and just have it off and just live like a sick life. Yeah. For a little bit anyway, and then like settle down somewhere probably and start another business. But
start that business that'll change the world.
Yeah, literally. That is like kind of my plan I have in my head. It's kind of like do the stuff now. If I don't get to the point where it's a business that I'm proper satisfied with like what I've done and I can sell these businesses and I can get out for like a substantial amount of money, then I'll go travel the world for a bit, just chill out, and then come back and do something else. That's my kind of thought process behind the plan. But
that's what's next, like kind of long term. What's next in the short term? Because I know you're working on something.
Yeah.
And you mentioned to me that you wanted to speak about it.
Yeah. So basically, I've been thinking about recently I've been thinking about like what we actually do and like what I actually know about. What have I done every single day for the last like 3, 4, 5, 6 years? And it's building and running paid communities and selling the things that we know and thinking of things to make them better to also sell to the people who we're initially selling to. So basically, we're starting a business that is going to be like an online video course, like a mentorship. Basically, we've unpacked everything we know about like building a business, about building a paid community, specifically paid communities and courses, about how to launch it, how to set up your platforms, what platforms to choose, how to create your offer, how to decide how you're going to sell it, how to package it up, make it into a course, how to make funnels, the basic funnels that we're using right now. And how to market that in organic content. So we're packaging all this up, and the initial thought right now is that I only want to sell this to people who have got a skill that can make people money, because that's what I know. I am helping other people who are doing other things that aren't necessarily making money, that are helping people. I'm helping them like one-on-one as like a private mentorship. But the reason that I want to sell it to people, the reason I want to sell it to people who can help people make money is because it's exactly what I know. And I'm confident that if you come to me with a skill and you have made if you've made at least £5,000 in the last year from it, and you've done it for over a year, I promise you, I can help you literally take that business and make like 20K straight off the bat with it. Like, that is what I'm highly confident in. And that's what I'm going to put as the guarantee. It's like, if you sign up to our course, that we will basically help you do that. And if you don't do it, I've talked about the idea of literally saying to people, if you do XYZ steps, I will literally buy your course off you for $5,000. And then I'll do something with it myself. Because I'm that confident that it works. It's just everything that we know. So we're starting this platform that's going to help people do it and help people make substantial amount of money from it, because it's what's created all my success, and it's what I have the most experience in. And I feel like right now I'm not necessarily selling something. I got all this knowledge, all this experience, and all this confidence in the businesses that I'm running, and I'm basically doing nothing with it other than running my own ones. And I feel like there's a massive market to help people there.
How big of a deal is it to have confidence in what you're selling when it comes to actually selling it? Because going back again to when you first started and that confidence wasn't there that things actually worked, how big is that?
I think it's super big. I seen something the other day, and if someone was like, if you're trying to close like a client for an agency, you've got like brokey breath, because you don't, like, for example, let's say you've just took like an SMA course and you don't really have a fucking clue what you're doing. People can just sense that you don't know what you're doing. So I feel like that's a big part of it. You want to come across like you actually know what you're doing. And that's why I only want to help people who've actually been doing it and have made money from it, because I know that there are big pillars that are needed for success. You can't just go join someone's group and then do it for 1 month and then just start flipping it. Like, that's not good enough. Like, I think that you need that experience, you need that knowledge. And if you have all of them, I don't want to say very easy. You're going to have to put in the work, but it's very step-by-step how it's done. It's super simple. I seen some guy on TikTok the other day, mate. He's not even selling a course. He's flipping bikes. Mate, he's pulling like 3-4 million views a video. He lives in the UK. And I was thinking, mate, if you strapped a course into the back of that, bro, you would be churning cash, mate. Like, that amount of views. It's literally like back-to-back, 2 to 3 mil. And another top tip here is, if you make videos, public interactions with other people is free views. People, it's just something about it. People want to see what people say. This guy, you'll look at the videos and you'll be like, mate, how is that even going viral? But all he does is, he just walks up to people, they wheel up the bike to him, and he just has a look at the chain and stuff, gives them like 50 quid, takes it back, flips it, and makes cash on it. And I was thinking, like, mate, like, it's the simplest video ever. But public interactions are free views. We do it on Seller Circle. We went around to Costco the other day and bought like 200 units of Lego. We put them on our trolley because it was like taking them to the checkout. People coming up to us all the time. Oh my God, guys, what are you doing? What's this about? Do you have like a Lego store or something? Like, big Lego collection, just like making jokes and stuff. We post all these videos on TikTok. It's like 500K, 400K views, like back to back. And and then like the analytics from that are insane. Like, the amount of link clicks was just mental.
Wow.
Good stuff. But going back to the paid community stuff, obviously I'm going to be helping people do it. And if you have got that criteria of like £5,000 made, been doing it for over 12 months, you're happy to be on camera, then you can reach out to me on my Instagram, like Milo Wilkinson, and I'll help you get it set up, and you can meet the rest of the lads that I work with, and we can take it from there. But it's a great, great, great way to like monetize your skill. And especially if you've got a side hustle skill, because side hustles can't make you an incredible amount of money, but they are so valuable to normal people. I think the side hustle market might be bigger than the I want to get rich market, because people are just like complacent with their lives and they just want a bit of like an extra 500 quid, an extra £1,000 on the side. That's a big thing for people. I made it like a TikTok ages ago when like did like 500k views, 600k views, and I was basically saying it like, if you want a 12k pay rise, like follow these steps, blah 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 blah, and it just churned for CCN because it's like, why, it's a bit of a weird analogy, but why would you bust your balls for your boss to maybe get a 12K pay rise, which is probably for a lot of people, it's like a 25% pay rise if you're on like average salary or whatever, when you can just sign up to some kind of legitimate side hustle, just put in a couple of extra hours and you can make that, and it's in your own control. You don't have to please somebody else to make it work. And like, that's kind of a little bit out of your control. You can put it literally directly into your hands and do it. I think it's a really important point that if you want that, then so you can literally just go out, you can literally start today, and you can probably see the results by the first 1 to 2 months for sure. It's a big thing.
Before we round off, bro, I just wanted to, one thing that I've taken from you is that you've made pretty much all of your money by helping other people make money. Does that come from a place of, that's just the strongest service that you could potentially offer? Or does it come from a place of like, I actually really want to help people?
I think it's both. For sure, both. Because like I mentioned to you, like my ultimate aspirations and dreams is to make something that changes the world and benefits everyone. Like, or benefits a massive amount of people and is like inspiring to people. So I definitely think that like subconsciously, that plays into everything that I do. Because I truly enjoy what I'm doing. I'm happy to wake up to work every morning. Do you know what I mean? Like 90% of the time. Obviously, sometimes you're like, fucking can't be asked for this. And I think that's normal. I think like in this culture as well, sorry to go on a little side topic here. In this culture, of all these gurus out there, it's like lock the fuck in, monk mode. I completely agree with that, but not 24/7. It's all right to think, you know what, I actually can't be asked today. But them days that you literally force yourself to go in and you might only do like 30% of the work, they're the days that like count the most. Because you're never going to be motivated 24/7. That's like, I'm convinced that's impossible.
Well, it's not motivation to build a business or whatever it is that you're trying to build. It's just discipline. Every single day, just doing the work, just waiting. Literally.
And like them days that like that you just force yourself to go in and at least get like 30% done of like, you know, obviously your most productive day. They're the days that like count the most. You can't just be flaking.
Every day is going to be a 10 out of 10, bro.
100%.
Some days you're going to score in at a 2, some days you're scoring at a 10, and 11 some days, but some days you're scoring at a 5. The main thing is that you put something on the scorecard for the day. Do you know what I mean?
100%, man. And I think
there's something.
What are you pulling up?
What's the definition for motivation? A reason or reasons for acting or behaving in a particular way.
Wow, that's the actual definition of motivation.
Yeah, so like, arguably from that, I actually wasn't expecting that definition. Arguably from that, if you have the reason to build a successful business or achieve that goal, arguably you should be motivated 24/7.
Yeah. Well, I think then the word motivation is kind of spun. Like I feel like when I think of motivation, I think it's like, boom, I'm going up today and I'm smashing it.
I feel like my internal interpretation of motivation is probably the same as you guys as well, but it's like this feeling that comes and you're like, right, like I'm ready, I'm going to do 20 push-ups right now and it's 3 a.m. and like I'm ready to go. Like that's the feeling of motivation that people associate with, but it's a reason to do something from what the dictionary says.
Yeah.
So it's like realistically, like that reason it's going to come and go in your thoughts, hence maybe why motivation comes and goes, but it's that discipline, man.
A discipline is going and doing it on the days where you don't have a reason, where you could probably stay home, where you don't feel up for it, where you do have a runny nose and you feel a bit fucking knackered, or you had a couple of beers the night before and your head hurts. The discipline is, I don't want to go, but I'm going to go.
Yeah.
When there's no reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I fully agree. And I think it's another biggest thing to people's success. Can't just be like, just got to force it down like sometimes, and it's just like remembering the bigger picture. I think it's really important, and I feel like I said, even if the days you do wake up and you can't be asked, like that's completely fine. Like I feel like some people make it out that it's like, you know what I mean, if you love what you're doing, then you're happy to work every day. But even if you love what you're doing, you're not happy to work every day. Especially with like outside, you know what I mean? Outside factors can play in as well that you have like no control over, like family or whatever.
Quickly, bro. So the definition of motivation we just found out, the reason or reasons for behaving or acting in a certain way. What's your reason?
Bring me the money.
Yeah,
I feel like that is definitely a part of it for most people.
It's a valid reason.
Yeah,
of course.
I feel like that's frowned upon as well to be like money motivated when realistically it's the ultimate goal for
Yeah.
most people.
Like I said, I want like money, definitely a huge part of it for me. But I also think that like if you look at like, for example, the actual aspirations that I do have, and like if I hopefully some point get to like changing the world, which
You're going to need money.
Yeah, it's a tool. Like I seen something about Elon Musk the other day, and he was basically saying that like money, like people think of it in this like XYZ way, but realistically, it's just like a resource allocation tool. Like if you have money, it says, oh, okay, I can have 100 people doing this. It means I can get 10 lorries of this, or like, do you know what I mean? It's
You're
just
buying time.
Yeah, you're literally
buying back time.
100%. So I think like if I want to do that, gonna need loads of money. I feel like when people land on this earth, especially if they come from like, you know, working class family or whatever, the biggest thing that's stopping having the things they want is money. So like the ultimate first thing is like, well, I've got to solve the money problem if I want to actually do anything else meaningful, because otherwise you can't really. Not really, because obviously you could go and do something you love, but do you know what I mean? Like I feel like it's a big thing. Like in my head, it's like problem number one of the world is getting enough money to the point where you can control the world in a different way.
I think what most people desire is like freedom, to be honest.
Yeah.
Freedom to start the business that changes the world. Freedom to go to the hotels with the hand towels and everyone speaks to you nicely. I mean, we had a guest on called Shamil, and H made a comment and he was like, well, obviously health, family are the two most important, and then it's money. And he was like, well, I think money's the most important.
I know, because
we both looked at him and we were like, you are? Fucking bastard, like, well, all right, do you know what I mean? And he goes, well, no, wait a minute. If you fall ill tomorrow and you need to go and get some kind of procedure done or whatever, and it's like, if you don't get it done in the next 6 days, you're going to die, and the NHS has a 6-month waiting list, what's going to get you out of that?
100%.
Money. You love your family, right? Or do you want to go out for nice dinners with your family? Do you want to experience amazing holidays and travel the world and see things and provide them with things they don't have?
100%.
You want to do that for your family, right? Well, what are you going to do without money?
Yeah.
And it's just like
I still disagree with it though.
But it's a perspective which is interesting though. Do you know what I mean?
It was completely different to anything I've ever heard.
I think it's a really good point though, because you never know what could happen. You know what I mean? Someone can fall really ill, and do you know what I mean? Like it's fucking devastating, man. Like for that to happen to someone, and like your best odds of remedying that situation is probably going to come with like the best healthcare you're going to get. Like if you want to increase the chances of them living the maximum, like to the maximum, you're going to need money to do it. I think it makes complete sense in that sense. Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of like helping people. But I also think like if it is out of your control, like if money can't fix the situation, then it arguably is more important. Interesting perspective from that guy.
To anybody that's looking to start an online business, looking to start making a little bit of money, what's the first actionable step that you would take? What advice would you give to that person?
Completely depends on your situation. If you've got barely any money and you don't have any skills that are like monetizable, then start CCN. It's the quickest way to get you in. But other than that, look at something like CCN. Look at something that's going to get you fast wins. Promise you, fast wins is going to be what spurs you on the whole journey. So you need to make that profit as quick as possible. So I would look at something that is going to help you make the profit as quick as possible. And then from there, look at it like stepping stones. Just hopscotch your way down this road to like become to the business that you want to be. But I definitely think look for early wins. Even if you don't start a business that's necessarily early wins, try and think of a way to get the early wins. And if you are thinking about starting a business, ultimate advice, Nike slogan, just do it. It's literally in front of everyone's eyes. Just get out there, do it. Stop like thinking about it so much. Just rig it up and start making some money from it. And then you can take it from you can take it to wherever from there.
Dope.
Nice, man. It's been a pleasure.
I appreciate you having us on, fellas.
Appreciate you as well coming down.
Also, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Turn the bell notification on so you get notified every time we release a podcast. And we'll see you all next week.
Love, guys. Catch us later.
Peace.